Hi everyone. This is Joey Bian from JD.com in China. Just want to do a quick research. How many of you guys know about JD.com? Wow, I'm surprised. All right, so we are the largest e-commerce platform in China by revenue, and then we are public traded in Nasdaq. So today, my topic is going to be around how at JD.com we have applied and used first-party data to empower our growth for the past 3 years. So first of all, I want to share some basic stats about the volume of our first-party data. So for the entire year of 2016, we have around 226 active purchase users. And then all of those users, they have placed 1.6 billion orders through us for the year 2016 alone. So that guaranteed a huge volume and amounts of first-party data to be explored and to be able to use in terms of precise marketing. So if you look at the chart on the right, starting from 2013, we have built our internal ad tech solutions to improve our digital marketing across the Chinese web. We haven't used any third-party vendors from that point on. So how we do that, I want to break it down at JD, how we approach that. So first of all, if you look at the graph here, what we are doing is on the left side, we have a couple of end users. So we will have JD's digital marketing department, we will have our merchandising people, and also the merchants and vendors that sell through JD. Because at JD we have two different business models. One is direct sell, where we purchase the goods from our vendors and then we sell it. The other type of business model is what we call marketplace, where we allow merchants and then vendors to open storefront on JD and sell them independently. So then we have those end users. What we build is on the right side, we have access to all the Chinese webs, medias, and in the middle, we have built 3 solutions. First of all is pretty much a DSP, because in China, we see less than 30% of all media traffic bought through real-time bidding kind of tag. But more of that will be fulfilled through ad servers, so it's through insertion orders. So on the right side, we also built that insertion order type of ad servers. Now, the most important role here is in the middle is what we call JD.com's first-party data, and we have used that to empower all of that digital media buy, including we utilize browsing information, search kind of behavior, likes, add to cart, and purchase histories. And we build that into actionable models. To give you guys a couple of examples down below, first of all, is what we call a DMP, where we try to track each customer's lifetime value in terms of a different category. And then secondly, we have utilized our first-party data to decrease non-human traffic as well. And lastly, for every ad request, we are predicting the orders that's going to come out if we're going to place that ad to that users. What's the merchandise value going to be? And one quick example about the value of first-party data. In the morning, I hear a lot of discussion about non-human traffic, which is also very pervasive in China as well. So according to the map, we see about more than 20% of non-human traffic in China overall. And how we fight that is to be able to combine users' first-party data, users' behavior, with ad-click kind of information. And this is the deep neural network model that we built to identify non-human traffic. So every day we have 5 billion ad requests coming through our JD.com's ad servers, and then our model is actually evaluating each ad request, whether that is a bot or not. So to be honest, we are already deploying robots to fight bots in China. So, and then one of the other challenge that we face in China is we see a lot of advertisers, whether it's B2C advertisers or B2B ones, they're also facing those kind of similar challenges in terms of non-human traffic, and then to improve marketing efficiency. So one of the tasks that we did is with IBM China, we're trying to help them tackle that non-human traffic challenge as well by applying their first-party data into the ad buy system. So it's a pretty similar workflow, but you can see the results at the bottom. So we basically filter so compared to industry standard, we filter more than 17% of non-human traffic, and then to be able to increase B2B conversion by around 7 to 9%. So I guess before coming here today, I actually prepared one of the examples of how we push the use of first-party data to the limit. My team told me that I was going to share it today. I might be too nerdy, but I still want to share it anyway. So we have already deployed a algorithm similar to AlphaGo. So if you analyze that, so the concept of AlphaGo is actually Markov decision chain, right? So you only have 3 elements. The first one is what we call the agent. So in the Go game, the agent is the player, right? But in terms of bidding, the agent is the DSP. So each DSP will be an agent. And if you think about the second layer, will be the environment, the moves, the actions, and the rewards. So if you think about that in the Go game, the environment is actually the chessboard, and each move will be each action, and then the rewards is whether you win or lose the game, right? But in terms of a real-time bidding, we will have the environment as the bidding environment, and the action will be your bid to each ad request, and the result is going to be the conversion rate at the end. So lastly, you will have a learning curve. So in the Go game, the learning curve is to maximize your win probability, right? And for us, it's about maximizing that conversion rate at the end. So see, it's not that complicated and too nerdy for, right? So, so to conclude, I believe that first-party data can generate lots of value. And for JD.com, we have been actively using that ever since 2013 to empower every digital marketing and media buy ever since 2013. And it's been great for us. So on that note, that concludes my presentation today. Thanks.
So hey everyone, we have a few minutes for questions, and so if anyone has questions about how these companies are doing some fascinating things with first-party data, I believe there's one over there. And if you don't have questions, I have a few questions to fill up time too. So.
Hi, thanks for the presentations. Just a quick question to Rick. You said you took the data from television companies, sorry, the TV manufacturers' data. How can that then work with individuals? Because obviously that's just saying that something's happening on the television. You don't know who is actually there, so therefore how can you link that back to the individual person?
Yes, thank you. That's a valid point. The TV data is at a household level. So there is a mix of the data sets being applicable in some cases at the household level and in some cases at the individual level. Also the CPG, or the fast-moving consumer goods or consumer packaged goods, depending on where you're from, data set from Nielsen Catalina is a household level data set as well. So on the other hand, there's a retail from Epsilon. We license a credit card transactional data set, so we can see transactions at a given retailer. That's a person level, but there's a layer of abstraction there. You know, we'll be marketing casual dining, and we presume it's going to be the whole family who goes out in any event, so it may be mom or dad who picks up the check. And I think there's just a tolerable level of ambiguity to that sense, but everything in our data structure maps back up to the household as well, so we know who's in what household as individuals.
Okay, well, I have one or two questions before we finish too. So if you look at your business and you start to see more and more people are using your first, are buying against your buying your inventory, leveraging, and you're powering that with your first-party data. And it's the same thing. You're buying more inventory, and you're using your first-party data. What's the percentage of inventory that's really being bought out there, leveraging your first-party data assets, as opposed to people just doing run-of-site, run-of-network?
Yeah. So for us, I think totally more than 95% of media ad buy for JD.com are fulfilled through that first-party data ad tag that I just mentioned. And then How that works is, for example, so usually for big advertisers, you buy traffic through, if you want premium traffic, and if you want it in China, you won't be able to get it through exchanges or RTB kind of buying business model, right? But then the only way to achieve that is to negotiate an insertion order deal with the publisher, right? But then how we navigate that is we do the insertion order deal, but then we do the ad serving ourselves, which means for each ad request, our ad server is going to make the decision on, for this user, on this placement. When the user is seeing this kind of information, what kind of product should I push out to that user, you know? So through that way, we are able to move that traditional insertion order ad buy to a programmatic first-party data activation-based media buy. So I think for us, more than 95% right now.
We've pivoted our business, very much to address this people-based platform as our opportunity. And I would say in one way or another, we're leveraging those capabilities for every campaign at this point. That said, not every impression necessarily, do we recognize at the point of serving it who it belongs to. We do a degree of lookalike modeling for scale depending on campaign objectives. Our match rate, we also onboard CRM lists from clients directly, and we believe it's higher than industry averages, around 65%, which is about what I see when I do analyses of cookies, of ad impressions that we've served, that we can tie back to our platform is kind of in that range.
Gotcha. And in the final minute, I'd like to ask a follow-up question to that. When you mentioned that you're onboarding CRM lists from your clients, given that means that you have to have a direct relationship now with the actual advertiser. So how does that change the advertiser, agency, publisher dynamic when the publishers need to have a direct relationship with the advertiser to be able to combine data sets?
Well, I would say we don't require that. We have, if they have a CRM list, we can definitely make that actionable. We also have a means to identify their customers through our other data sources like Experian and the CPG data set I mentioned and the retail data set to find their customers if they don't have a CRM list. So we are doing more direct-to-client business for sure, but we still are doing the majority of our work with agencies. I'd just say briefly that we are an alternative to Facebook and Google at a similar scale of people-based advertising, but outside of that walled garden. And there's, I think we heard earlier that the growth rate of Google and Facebook in advertising revenue is greater than the rest of the industry, so they're taking share. So advertisers are eager for alternatives to them, so that's part of our offering.
So thank you. We are now officially out of time, but thank you, everyone. Thank you for your presentations.